Hey, it's Kyler with FollowHook. In this lesson, we're going to make FollowHook talk to Project Broadcast. And if you watched the last lesson, you know that it does that via FollowHook groups to Project Broadcast campaigns. If you didn't watch the lesson about Project Broadcast campaigns, I recommend you do that so this all makes sense. But as soon as you've done that, let's go ahead and sign into the WordPress admin. Okay, once I'm at my dashboard, I'm going to go to FollowHook and then down to Project Broadcast. Now you'll see I already have an API key here. But this is the first thing you need to do to set up FollowHook to talk to Project Broadcast. So go ahead and open up a new tab in your browser and sign in to Project Broadcast. And once you're signed in, click the hamburger menu for more settings and then click Get API Key. Project Broadcast will then show you your specific API key and you want to highlight that and copy it. And then jump back here and paste it into this field. And then click Save Project Broadcast Settings. Now once you've done that, you want to scroll down and there's some settings I want to explain to you. Project Broadcast Sync Options. The first setting here basically says, hey, if you remove someone from a FollowHook group that's synced to a Project Broadcast campaign, do you want to also remove them from that campaign? If you check this, it will remove them from both. And then the second option, allow overriding of FollowHook people when syncing from Project Broadcast. So what's that about? First of all, normally you do not want this checked. You typically want this one checked up here because you want to keep your FollowHook and Project Broadcast stuff in sync, but you don't want to overwrite FollowHook data typically. Here's why. Here's what this setting does. As you'll see in a moment, we provide the sync from FollowHook groups to Project Broadcast campaigns. The only people that go back and forth between FollowHook and Project Broadcast are members of the group and members of the campaign. So when you set up the sync and bring people from the Project Broadcast campaign to the FollowHook group, if they're not in FollowHook already, having this setting checked doesn't matter. But if you already have the people on FollowHook, you might have their email address and certain custom information about them that Project Broadcast does not contain. So if you have this checked and you do that type of sync, what's going to happen is it's going to bring all the people from Project Broadcast. It's going to overwrite them completely in FollowHook. And so you're only going to be left with contacts with maybe their first name and their phone number. They won't even have an email address anymore because Project Broadcast doesn't hold that information. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is a setting that you typically will not be using. It's just there for specific situations. And then this bottom option, when you click this, it syncs your Project Broadcast contacts to FollowHook. Now, a very specific note about this. It doesn't pull all of your Project Broadcast people into FollowHook. It only pulls the people in based on the relationship that we're about to set up. In the future, we probably will automate this so that you don't have to click this button to manually do it. Now with that, what's automated right now is FollowHook to Project Broadcast. So when we set up the relationship, anyone in a FollowHook group that you've tied to a Project Broadcast campaign will automatically go to Project Broadcast. You never need to manually do it. What's manual right now is bringing people from a Project Broadcast campaign to your FollowHook group. And again, we'll document this here when we change it in the future and it is available just to be automated. So now with your API key in and saved, what we need to do is go to FollowHook groups. You need to create a group that you want to sync with your Project Broadcast campaign. I already have that group here called Paradise Strikes Updates, so I'm ready to go. Once you create your group, jump over to Project Broadcast and go to Campaigns. And you want to create the campaign that you want to put people into. I have a very simple drip campaign here with one message for this example, so I'm ready to go in Project Broadcast as well. So we're ready to sync. So how do you do it? All you do is jump back to FollowHook and then edit that group and then scroll down and check Yes by Project Broadcast. And it'll show you any available campaigns, so I'm going to put a check mark by Paradise Strikes Updates and then click Update. Now something I want to point out. You'll notice my FollowHook group is the same as my campaign. Is that required? Absolutely not. But I try to do this to save my mind later, because if I have a lot of campaigns and a lot of groups, things can get crazy really fast. So I want to easily say, okay, if I have a Paradise Strikes Updates campaign in Project Broadcast, if it's tied to a group in FollowHook, that group's going to be named the same thing, just for my peace of mind. Great. So this is ready to go. So let's test it out. I'm going to go to People, and I've got myself in here. And if I edit my contact, I see that I do have a mobile phone number. And mobile is what Project Broadcast uses. If you have a work phone, that's not going to work. This is what is passed over. So I'm going to go over here and add this person to the Paradise Strikes Updates group, and then update that person document. And by the way, if you click on people, if I had a bunch of people in here, I could highlight them, and then under bulk actions, I could do edit and apply, and then add all of those people at once to a specific group if you want to do this quickly. The other way to do this obviously is with an opt-in form. And we have separate lessons on that in here, but if you create an opt-in form with a name and a phone number field on your website, people can automatically put their information in, and then FollowHook will pass all that over to Project Broadcast. Very cool. So let's go check Project Broadcast, see if it worked. I'm going to refresh and click on campaigns, and look, now there's a member. Kylie Boudreau has been added. Pretty slick, right? So you can see how easy it is to either set an opt-in form up or manually add people to a FollowHook group and then pass them all over to a Project Broadcast campaign. Now, that can work the other way. Let's say you have a Project Broadcast campaign with a keyword tied to it, and someone texts you that keyword, which adds them to the campaign. Well, if it's associated with a FollowHook group, if you jump back here under Project Broadcast and click that sync, it will bring them into FollowHook and add them to that group. And as I said before, that will be automated most likely in the near future. But bringing them back right now is manual. And you'll see that note changed. If we don't update this lesson right away, you'll see the note changed in the admin. So that's really it as far as getting Project Broadcast and FollowHook talking to each other. If you have any questions, please post in support. Have fun with this third-party automation. Project Broadcast is a great tool. Thanks for being a customer. See you in another lesson soon.